Hey everybody, welcome back to my anime reaction channel GizAnime. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a figure unboxing. On the right we have a authentic Shiro figure from No Game No Life, made by the Good Smile Company. This is one of their pop-up parade figures. And on the left we have an unfortunate bootleg version of this figure that I bought because I was unaware that it was not even released when I bought this thing. The sad thing about it is that the bootleg cost as much as the authentic one did, but I figured since I went ahead and messed up, why not go over the details and see what the differences between the two figures are.
Sounds good.
And then on top of that, we have another figure from Fate Grand Order, Naito Chris. I'm unaware of who this really is. I don't think I've seen this character before. I've watched several of the Fate Grand Order shows. One of my favorite characters being Berserker of Black. The Berserker that is in the wedding armor. She looked pretty neat and had a pretty unique feel to her during the storyline. But with that said, let's get on to these figures and see the differences between the two and take a look at this Fate Grand Order one and see what she's all about. Alright, so the first thing I would like to go over is actually the bases of the figure. So the Fate version has this acrylic base, or this plastic base actually, and the authentic has the same base, but the bootleg has the stand in the base. This does not come out, it is actually really in there. I'm pretty sure it's glued in. Whereas the authentic, it is on her foot. So it is one of the differences already that I've noticed. Alright everybody, and off rip, I can see some pretty big differences in the two figures. The bootleg has this green tinge on the bottom of Shiro's hair, whereas the authentic, it just goes down to the lighter yellow. We also have a bit of an off-white on the bootleg version's shirt. It's more like a dingy, dirty white. And probably one of the biggest differences is the arm. The fake version, her arm goes out, and the authentic one, it's the gun and the arm is pointing more towards a person or whoever she's sniping off. You can also see that her leg or her skin tone, especially in the leg, this is a lot darker than this one. It's a lot more of the anime skin tone, the paler, whiter type skin tone. Also, you can note that the hair on the bootleg kind of falls flat, like it was crushed downward. Like it has this right here, whereas the authentic, it's still springy. Now I'm pretty sure if you crushed this down and just held it for long enough, it would probably stay down. But this came like this, and this came like this. So in packaging, this was probably smushed down. Okay, so here we have the bootleg. You can see that there's a lot of really bad discrepancies with the paint job on the hair. There's a lot of like, I don't know what this is here, with like this little speck. And then you've got it over here where they just did a really poor job of the hair. But this is a bootleg, so you get what you pay for. Unfortunately, like I said, this one actually costs as much as the authentic, which is kind of sad. The mouth is nothing more than a hole, whereas on the authentic figure, her mouth is much more pronounced. As you can see, the hair is quite a bit better. I wouldn't say it's perfect. This is a smaller figure, but it is still definitely a lot smoother, a lot better painted, whereas this just looks really scuffed. So again on the hair, the part in the front of her face, it goes down to her chest. On the authentic and on the bootleg, it kind of goes off. It goes off to the side of her body. The gun on the bootleg version is a really off-white, almost yellow. Whereas on the authentic, it's a little whiter. I want to say it's totally white. but it does look a little better. On the bootleg version of the figure, you can see that the gun is closed at the end or the opening, whereas on the authentic, it's painted black to give it the illusion of depth. Okay, now looking at the back, other than the green on the bootleg's hair, you really don't see a huge difference. There are differences. The flow of the hair is quite a bit different. The original or the authentic is actually a little more flowing, but not absurdly flowing than the bootleg. Take note that on the bootleg version, the blue in the hair is actually darker than the authentic, where it's quite a bit lighter. And not really sure if you can see, but the strands look a little more pronounced on the authentic one than the bootleg one. For the most part, her legs, other than again the skin tone, over to her feet, the purple looks about the same color. They look about the same size. So that's pretty much similar. I don't see really any differences with that. So the last difference that I would take note of is in the face. On the authentic, she has a more rosy color around her cheeks, whereas on the bootleg, it is just a flat yellowish color. That would be the differences between these two figures. I do not condone buying or suggest buying bootlegs. This was an accident on my part, which is another reason why I went ahead and got the authentic one, because I didn't want to support the purchasing of bootlegs. This is just a lesson in the differences. Since I went ahead and accidentally did that, why not show them off? With that said, let's get on to the Fate Grand Order figure and see what she looks like. Alright, so she has the typical base. By the way, this is a Banpresto figure. They're pretty much all packaged about the same. So here we have her head with her hair, which is actually extremely long.
Impressive.
And then the other compartment is her body. And then on another one, the third compartment, we actually have an arm. Alright, so her head looks well defined. She has several strands of hair. The back, though, is pretty
boring,
bland. Goes all the way down to this ponytail. Why there aren't any etchings in this is kind of weird. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. We have these two pigtails with these red, I'm not sure what girls call those, whatever they use to tie their hair up. But her face looks really nice. We've got these really purple eyes, the small cut mouth, kind of like these battle markings on the side of her face. We've got large gold earrings and a gold, I'd say that was a necklace, but I'm really not sure what this is, because that's pretty big for a necklace. Like a choker type thing. This little crown with kind of like bunny ears on her head with more gold markings. Then we've got her body. She has like an Egyptian type feel to her. We've got this large plate around her neck, shoulders, like an armor. I know like a lot of the Egyptian kings used to wear them, so she might have possibly been an Egyptian king or princess, queen. We have a band on her arm with some large bracelet. Her waist looks exceptionally well figured or carved, sculpted out to look pretty realistic, I would say. She has long gold chain going around her waist all the way down her legs with a blue purplish waist covering. Then we've got like a pink skirt with a few folds to show movement, and then her feet with kind of like these high heel type shoes with lace going all the way around it up to the back of her calf. And then the other arm, which is pretty much the same as the one that's attached to her. Alright, I didn't notice, but she actually has like a staff in her hand with kind of looks like a bird skull with the beak and the eye. It's a little harder to put together than you would think. There is a connection on the staff here that is really bad. This comes off really easy. Her arm comes out of her socket really easy. It's not a firm fit. They have a stand to help hold her hair, but it doesn't really say where to put it, so I'm at a bit of a loss as to where it goes. So it's just kind of hanging there. Because obviously with this much extra weight and her head being separate from the body, it causes her head to either fall forward or fall back. So it's a bit finicky, but I only paid $30 for it. I got this at my local anime shop. Every time I go down there, I try to see if they have any new figures. I do enjoy the Fate Grand Order series. I might watch this one just to see how amazing this character is. With that said, though, let me know what you all thought of this character. Let me know what you all thought of the authentic and the bootleg Shiro from No Game No Life. And I will see you all next time.